So check this out. Let's address some of these key things. Let's pull this up on your screen. And here's another example. Okay. So for one, remember how we mentioned IBM? Well, for one, there is 3 apps through IBM that literally connect with the Overledger. IBM Cloud Speech to Text, IBM Cloud Natural Language Unit. Like, you remember how we talked about AI? And then this one is IBM X-Force Exchange. And look what it says: prompt, edit, and deploy AI agents that connect to Overledger, IBM X-Force Exchange, and 2,500 other plus apps in seconds. I mean, maybe Rue and I do more of a deep dive into IBM X-Force Exchange in itself and uncover some things. Again, no promises, but again, it's so interesting to see this integration. I think it speaks volumes. Now, let's really answer some of the key things here, okay? We want to give a shout again to our brother in space, Smoke. Has Smoke ever covered Stronghold? He has. Awesome. Kudos to Smoke. What does Smoke have? He points out back on recently, June 13th, right? Not like 3 or 4 years ago, that Tammy Camp, founder of Stronghold, highlighted how Ripple and Stellar can seamlessly be embedded into applications during a panel hosted by Amazon Web Services. Interesting. Amazon Web Services. That's why we pull the PDF, ladies and gentlemen, from Amazon Web Services, right, Rue?
Yeah.
I mean,
Ooh, that's very interesting right there.
it
And
is.
when you look at Sean Bennett's history, right? Like he created this application right before Stronghold. I forget what it's called, but it was meant to work with both XRP and Stellar, and then after that, out of that came Stronghold. So this falls right in line with what we've known about Sean Bennett, and this makes me even more bullish on Stronghold, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, when you once you guys see some of this, how it comes all full circle, you're gonna be like, because that's how it made me feel, right? uh, I mean, sometimes you just gotta, so people say don't be emotional, but you can't be emotional about the research, right? So, if anything, check this out for yourself. This is really cool, and so glad to be networked with people. Obviously, like Smoke. How many times will you put him on blast, to say the least? So, we're gonna go ahead and play this. This is literally Tammy Camp, like it says, founder of Stronghold, highlighting how Ripple and Stellar can be seamlessly embedded into applications, of course, during that panel hosted by Amazon Web Services. Listen closely. Does she mention APIs? Well, I think you'll find out here soon. Listen to this. Here we go.
Institution that allows fiat on-ramps to distribute blockchain technologies such as Ripple and Stellar and Interledger. This is available via APIs, so developers, I think such as yourselves, can embed it into their applications and allow users to, integrate with USD or we have 8 fiat currencies coming on board and reach different countries. But this basically allows users to, interact with your ecosystems.
All right, Rue. So interact with your ecosystem. Now, there's a final connector, but just real quick, I do want to get your feedback just on that as well.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to DCENT Wallet. So just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your DCENT Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
So right there, that shows from the video we had earlier. Tammy Camp just said it works with 8 different fiats currently, and she stopped herself because I don't know if she was supposed to say that or not, but it's very telling. She was like, it works with 8 fiats. Like, did I mess up right now? So already 8 fiats on that thing. And of course, we know API. If you're a coder, you know APIs make your life easier. So I guess imagine like a black box, right? You don't care what goes into it. You only kind of care what comes out of it. This is kind of what an API is. An API is this like mysterious like coding black box Like basically, we'll give you this black box. It'll come with instructions and let you know, hey, you can use these functions, that function, uh, like if we were to put it into like a really kind of easy thing, like everybody knows how to, you know, use a record player, right? You would make an API for playing like a song. So it would go play, stop, fast forward, rewind, right? So now with these APIs, you can use anything. You can have an API for the overledger, you can have an API for ADP, and everything is going to run on this. And honestly, it makes me think about metaverse, since everything's going to be so highly code centric, and we're going to have AI coming in here too. Um, everything is going to be even more and more and more code centric. So they're trying to make it easier because everything is going to be on the blockchain. Like you've heard everybody say that, and of course, you think of it as hyperbole, right? Like, it really will everything be tokenized? Yes, everything will be tokenized, right? So much so that we'll have our own identities tokenized in the metaverse, right? And everything will interoperate. This is amazing. I'm even more stronghold bullish right now.
Yeah, me too. And it's been a while since I've done a proper outline, especially with Stronghold. So let's just show you guys just a tad bit more. I know this is quite a deep dive, but this is good. This is really good. So we're going to share this as well. Let's jump over to here. Remember how we talked about Goldman Sachs earlier? Yeah, see how this comes full circle? Smoke points out Goldman Sachs is a co-investor of Ripple. This is why we mentioned XRP also. Documented. Yeah, this is really good. And he posted this June 27th. Man, oh man, look at this for a second. I mean, Smoke doing it big as always. What you see right here, look what it says. Created in 2005, co-investors, major market players, Google, Goldman Sachs, Standard Chartered, works in test mode with more than 100 banks, Santander, Bank of America, Axis Bank, Standard Chartered, etc. Again, top part, Ripple, a new technological approach in interbank cross-border financial transfers. That's big. And then the bottom part, let's get into that. Unlimited scalability. The Ripple crypto system is not subversive technology. It is designed to improve existing payment technologies by accelerating exchange operations and facilitating the trade of low liquid assets. And I believe, according to the interview with Smoke, this source was a particular Russian agency pointing this out a while back. So that's big in itself. The other thing I wanted to jump back into, because he points out how it's documented. So again, this originally I think came from Subjective Views, and what do you see here? I do follow them. Give them a follow. They deserve a follow. They point out Goldman Sachs interviewing the top G, Brad Garlinghouse. Again, so why would they do that? And again, June 26th, and look what we see here, Rue. I mean, you see it here, Goldman Sachs Digital Assets Conference, and some people say, especially in gamer land, right? Screenshots or it didn't happen, noob, right? Well, it happened. It definitely happened. Goldman Sachs conversation with Ripple, Yasmin Kupal, partner in investment banking, TMT, Goldman Sachs, and Brad Garlinghouse, chief executive officer, Ripple, sharing the stage. And as I would always point out, boil it, mash it, stick it, and stew, because that's major. Now you may think, oh, that's all we need. No, we come back full circle once again, Rue, because Zebec, look at this for a second. Zebec posts back in July 25th of 2023, users are now able to receive their payroll in real time and move it straight to their bank accounts. More about off-ramp transaction here. You ever wonder why I talked about ramp? Now, again, we're not saying that they're talking specifically about ramp, but interesting the terminology, especially to show you guys an example. Zebec announces off-ramp functionality in collaboration with Coinflow. But again,
And
that's
they bolded
interesting.
it. They bolded it. They put ramp in bold.
That is true. That is true. So why do that, right? The other point I want to get into is look at this. Now you guys may be wondering, how do we connect it to Excuse me. Yeah, I gotta stop coughing or clear my throat like that. I sound like Crypto Hulk. Nothing against Crypto Hulk. Anyway, why programmable money? Because it can help create a frictionless payment future. And what do you see here? They cite, for example, Forbes. But again, programmable money. They're talking about programmable money in 2021. Now, this is going to get really good. So, who is Coinflow? Payment stack built for businesses. Okay, headquartered in Chicago. I don't want to get so much a deep dive about them, but I will mention them just a little bit. We are proud to announce that we raised 2.25 million seed round to accelerate the introduction of instant payment settlement for businesses. Back to Circle to a sense, right? Or back to Stellar and back to all these ones, Stronghold. This round was led by CMT Digital, right? Leading global venture capital firm focused on early stage investments, accelerate the adoption of blockchain tech. Then you see some of these other ones, right? Reciprocal Ventures, partnering with crypto founders from day zero. You have Jump, right? Got to look more into Jump. There's a couple, but look at this. Boom. Here you go, Rue. That was a surprise for you. I never told you that earlier. You like
Nice.
that?
Draper
Drape?
Dragon. It all comes full circle
It
because
does.
Jump, they were instrumental in Wormhole. Okay. So there was just recently a news announced with Wormhole and XRP, right? So you look at Wormhole, you look at Draper Dragons. I've gone over Draper so many times with you guys. Of course, he's in on Zebec through Coinbase Ventures. I think he's also in on Wormhole as well. So um, yeah, that's a really nice list of investors there. But it's all that we've kind of connected, right? XRP and Zebec, but now we have XRP, Zebec, and Stronghold, and then through Keith Rabaugh, I think. Um,
With
XRP.
Ramp.
I'm sorry.
You're talking about with Ramp and all that and the PayPal Mafia?
Yeah, with him, with Keith Rabois or Rabaugh, we got XCN. You can throw XCN into that list too because of Khosla Ventures. So XCN, Stronghold, XRP, um, Zebec, zbcn. We got the whole crew and wormhole, right? It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, and Quant with the overledger. So
Right. And then even Stripe, too, like we point out, too, and ADP. So, I mean, that's major, especially for Zebec. We know about ADP. The other thing I just want to show you guys real quick was this part. Yeah, thank you for all the customers. I mean, again, that's major. And then, just in case we didn't show on the other one, a little bit more emphasis on Draper Dragon. How many awesome deep dives has Rue done about Draper, right? Like, I mean, this guy is your supreme source for Draper. If you're on my platform, you want to learn more about Draper, especially Swift Coin. I mean, Draper's tied into so much. The Stellars, your Elon Musk, your on and on, right? Swift blockchain, right? So this is why we point this out. And then here
I
is
need to
the
share a mind map with you guys too here.
okay,
Also here we got Digital Currency Group, and Digital Currency Group is invested in I believe Hedera, XRP, and XLR. So let me see if I can pull up this mind map really quickly here. Okay, so here we go. Remember, I was just mentioning DCG. We got XRP, XCN, and Hedera, right? Also, you can have here Circle and Coinbase Ventures. So it's interesting. I named this mind map Coinbase Zebec PayPal Mafia, right? Again, now if we go up here, we were just mentioning Jeb and Caleb, XRP, Stellar, and you can throw them in on the Stronghold list. We know Stronghold is built on Stellar, but also Velo as well, right? And Pantera Capital and OpenAI. We got Draper here. We know he's involved with um, um, Zebec, but also Robinhood. And Robinhood, if you guys have been paying attention here, Robinhood has reached an all-time high in the stock market. It touched to $85. It's around like 83 right now. Robinhood owns Bitstamp, You can buy XRP on there. They have a big amount of XRP on Robinhood. All the same players here, but of course we know he's also invested in Circle and Coinbase Ventures, and I believe he's also invested in Consensus. But then we have over here Mark Andreessen, XRP, Robinhood, Coinbase, Solana, which Solana has been in a kind of backdrop of all of this as well when you're talking about Zebec, right? And then Breer Capital, Jim Breer, we got Circle. He's an initial investor in Circle, also initial investor in Zebec here, and of course BlackRock and Securitize. We know Securitize, links all these companies together, both XRP, Wormhole, XLR, Zero Hash, you name it, right? It's linked in with Securitize and BlackRock. We could also put Ondo on this list, even though they're not listed right here. Yeah. So, of course, Polychain Capital, they were an initial investor in Coinbase. But also here, you see they're an investor in XLR, which we've been talking about here, and also Solana. So, I really think it's when you research kind of the people behind these people come up a lot. When we're talking about what's going on. For instance, he's not listed on here, but Peter Thiel, how many times has he come up today? As far as Stripe, he came up with a couple different things. Palantir, and I think he was an initial investor in something with Keith Rabaugh too. I can't remember what, but yeah, Peter Thiel. He's come up countless number of times. We know he's an initial investor in Stripe. We know he's an initial investor in OpenAI. We know he's an initial investor in Palantir, which I also hear our current vice president might have some connections to, JD Vance. So yeah, it's just a wealth of information. If you follow the money, you'll come across some of these guys, right?
Well said, Rue. The last part is truly the last part, and I want to just solidify this. So, for one, we're going to share it on the screen. Let's pull this up. Basically, it's this right here, and let's get into it. So, here it is. And basically, remember how we mentioned Zebec? Look what it's pointed out here. Why programmable money? Again, October 24th, 2021. Why programmable money? Because it can help create a frictionless payment future. Like it says, money, programmable money, blockchain, Solana. Well, again, it mentions Solana then, but we also know that Quant, through the developer hub, also has that interoperability with Solana. And if you don't believe me, look that up. Now watch this. My own research. Boil it, mash it, stick it in stew. Ever wonder why Quant doesn't consider themselves a cryptocurrency? Look what you see mentioned there in the highlight. What is programmable money and what can it be used for? I think you get the gist. And I think you understand the bigger picture of how everybody missed this, except the institutions. Hopefully you didn't miss it. We understand that this is quite the deep dive, and we went a little bit longer than normal. But in reality, that was jam-packed with a lot of information. So do us a solid if you listen to the entire outline and type this key phrase, and that is, everybody missed this except me. Or you can abbreviate it. And we'll know you listen to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and this awesome guy over here, or over there, right? Because this is mirrored. The one and only Rue Black. Know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps flood 110%. Glad to be back with the Brother Rue. Bam!
Peace.
We'll see you guys on the next one. Over now.